Welcome everybody to the seasonal diet, eating what our ancestors ate when they ate it like we were evolved to do. If you live in a place with seasons, you know that there is not much growing after around this time of year in the fall as we start to get to the winter. It's today, with modern technology and importing food from halfway around the world, we have access to a lot of these foods year round, but our ancestors previously in history did not have this luxury. One of the things that we are not going to see for a long time now is fresh fruits. However, there are a few things that are still in season, even this late in the fall where we are right now, that you can find in your grocery store pretty easily too. These are the autumn fruits, the main ones being the cranberries, grapes, dates, figs, apples, pears, and a few other things that are a bit more rare that you might only find foraged in nature. But about the fruits that I just listed, there are two amazing things that they all have in common. First, they are all native to Europe and are in most of our ancestral diets, no matter where you are from in Europe. Today, you will have a hard time growing grapes, actually, or figs anywhere north of Central Europe, but this may not have been the case at all times in history. In the Viking Age, for example, it was a very warm period, about as warm as it is today. If we go back a couple thousand years before that, in the Bronze Age, it was even warmer, and we have records and archaeological evidence of things like grapes growing in the north of Europe back then. Actually, the Old Norse word for the Americas when they discovered it was Vinland, or Vineland, referring to possibly grapes or some other vine-like fruits that grew there in the north of America, which is modern-day Newfoundland, where there are definitely no vine or grapes growing there. So it just shows that these typical Mediterranean fruits might just have been growing native to the north of Europe too at certain times in history, certain warm periods. And even if they weren't, these fruits that I mentioned could easily be traded, and that brings us to the second amazing thing about these fruits, is that they are preserved very easily and have a long tradition of this. Grapes get dried and they turn into raisins, cranberries are excellent dried, dates, figs, these all have a long tradition of being dried and eaten later on throughout the winter. Apples and pears too are very easily preserved if stored in a cool, dry place. So if fruits like these were not growing wild for, say, my ancestors, for example, from the north of Europe, they could have easily gotten on a Viking ship and taken a trip down to Turkey or Italy and filled it up with all these dried fruits and brought it home, and could have been good to eat for the whole winter. So make use of this time, especially if you are growing food or growing some of your own food or preserving it. You can eat a lot of these fruits that I mentioned in this video right about now, this time of year, but you can also preserve a lot of it to eat throughout the whole winter too.